Ladies and gentlemen, our first inductee of the evening, Leanne Grotke.
Thank you, Don, for your kind words and warm welcome. I am truly honored to be inducted into the Indiana University Athletics Hall of Fame, along with the other inductees this evening, Antoine, Bobby, represented by Bob, Dave, Larry, Landon, and Michelle. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be part of your group. I would also like to acknowledge my friends and family that have come from Wyoming, Colorado, Connecticut, Georgia, Ohio, and Illinois that are here tonight. And I thank you all for coming. Let me begin by thanking Indiana University for the opportunities that many of us had and the leadership that they showed in providing extraordinary opportunities for young women and rich experiences, and for myself also. Tonight, I stand here solely because of the work and bold vision of athletics directors and other administrators, such as the former university president, Dr. John Ryan, athletics director Bill Orwig, and a woman I call my friend and mentor, Dr. Anita Aldridge. Some of you may know that Anita passed away just this past week, and that's a great loss. She was 98 years old. Dr. Aldridge was chair of the Women's Physical Education Department when I began my career at Indiana. Because of she and the others at the university and their unwavering support for a strong women's athletics program, Indiana led in opening up new opportunities for young women athletes to compete in athletics, something I know that we're all very proud of here tonight. Initially, the women's program began in the physical education department and grew from there into the athletics department, where in 1972, oh, that was a long time ago, 1972, we moved from the physical education department into the intercollegiate athletics department. Indiana was the first school in the Big Ten to establish a position of associate athletics director for women, and I was blessed to hold that position. Of course, those early years of athletics and the landscape for student athletes appeared quite differently than it does today. In the early 60s, we had just two women's intercollegiate teams, a basketball team and a field hockey team. Both were coached by an ambitious and competitive Dr. Kay Burris, and I'm so pleased that she is here with us tonight. Our program grew, as I said, from 2 to 8 sports rather quickly, one of those sports being swimming, and that was the sport where we awarded our first athletic scholarship for women in 1976. Coaching that team was Mr. Don Glass, who was a volunteer and working full-time in the radio and television program. And Don, we're glad that you're here to enjoy the evening with us. In 1977, we were fortunate to lure Mr. Lynn Loring from California to Indiana to coach tennis. At the risk of embarrassing Lynn, I'm going to mention just a few of his many, many accomplishments along with his team. Lynn is now entering his 35th year as coach of the women's program. And he looks young enough to be dating the competitors, but he's, that's a record held by no other coach here at Indiana. Lynn's teams were competitive. They dominated the Big Ten. They dominated the opponents on their program. His team won a women's national championship in 1982, and he coached a singles champion and two doubles national championship teams. Lynn was named National Coach of the Year twice, and 4 times National Coach of the Year in the Big Ten. So Lynn, I'm so glad that you and your wife Vicki could be here with us this evening. Thank you. I am deeply thankful to Indiana University's commitment to excellence in its women's program. IU paved the way for other schools to follow, and our athletes led in the fields and the arenas of competition, which, after all, is why my induction into the Hall of Fame really celebrates the accomplishments of many young women student athletes like Michelle. Today, under the fine leadership of Fred Glass and his staff, the athletics department is realizing many successes, and I know they have a bright future ahead of them. I am deeply thankful to Indiana University for the program they offered women student athletes back in the early 60s, when women simply wanted the excitement of participating on an intercollegiate team and gaining an athletic scholarship when they became available. I will always be grateful to Indiana University for the opportunities that they afforded me to pursue my field of endeavor and to allow me to enjoy the accomplishments that I did while I was here and following the time here at Indiana. And now I just have one more thing to say. Go Hoosiers!